a similar theme, and you wake up, you're like, why did I dream that? It's weird. It's not really like a nightmare. It's not really like the happy dream, but it's like a weird dream that just keeps on seeming very realistic, but yet you wake up thinking, why? Why did I dream that? So I'll be a little bit vulnerable and tell you a little bit about my recurring dream. It's nothing too extreme, but I'm back in high school. I'm like in 10th grade. And believe me, I was a good student in high school. I showed up for all my classes. I was a straight A student. I was very diligent, very conscientious. But for some reason, I have this, every couple of months I have this dream again, where I don't show up to school for many, many days. I show up finally after a couple of weeks of just missing out on all the classes. And there's a test. And I have no idea what the answers are. And I sit there sweating and panicking. Like, what the heck? I'm smart. I know things, but I didn't come to class for the last few weeks, and I have no idea what this material is about. And had I come to class, I would have aced this test. And I'm sweating and I'm in a panic thinking, why didn't I just come to school? Why did I miss out on all those days? And every couple of months I have this dream again and again and again. And I wake up thinking, why am I dreaming this? This is something in the past. High school is 20 years ago. I had a good 4 years of high school. Why am I having dreams about missing class, not wanting to go to school, failing all my grades, being ashamed at looking at all my teachers, and thinking, I don't want to go to school? This is a real dream that I keep having. And this morning, while I do have a nice marketing deck prepared for you, I said, I have to share this dream with you. Whoever's here is meant to hear what's on my heart right now. As I woke up at 5:30 this morning, I said, why did I have this dream? And in that blend between being asleep and being awake, I somehow came to a resolution that I hope will now stop this dream from continuing to haunt me every couple of months. Something in my mind made me feel at peace. Instead of fighting with myself all those years of why I missed school and why I wasn't showing up and why I was failing tests and being anxious about it, I told myself this morning, it's okay. So you didn't go to school. It's okay. So you didn't know the answers on the test. It's okay. You're not graduating high school. It's okay. Maybe one day you'll go back, you'll get your GED. It's really okay. Again, this is a dream, but I still had to tell myself that it was okay, that I was missing school, because for some reason, that Tami in my dream didn't want to go to school. She didn't want to show up. And I finally said to myself, you know what, it's okay if you're not ready to show up. One day you'll be ready to show up. And I feel that coming to peace with that it's okay when you're not ready for something, but at a later date you might be ready for it. It might be enough to just soothe any fear or any haunting thoughts that you may be having about something. And so I realized that it's okay to not be at a place where you want to be right now, and that alone could solve an issue. Anybody else here have recurring dreams that just keep coming up, and you're just like, why do I keep having this? It's not true. Well, sometimes it is from your subconscious, right? So I feel like telling myself that it's okay will make it okay. Now, what does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with marketing? I'm a marketing consultant, and why am I here? Well, as a marketing consultant for over 15 years, I've dealt with a lot of different companies. And I've been following a lot of marketing strategy out there. There's actually about 200 types of ways you can market your business or market yourself. 200. But when we think of marketing, what do we think of? What are the first types of marketing that come to your head? What's the first marketing? Social media, right? Right away. Oh, I have a company, I need to use social media. Another type of marketing. Paid ads. Another type of marketing. Email. Another type of marketing. Trade shows. But the list goes on and on and on how many types of marketing tools you can use. But as a strategist, when I'm working with my clients, the number one question I get mostly is, what about social media? Which platform should I be on? How many times a day should I post? And for many, many years, it was with a heavy heart, and I did not want to advise people to use social media as a way to market their business. Why? As a marketer, it's probably a #1 strategy out there to get notoriety, to get word of mouth, to get your brand aware. Why would I sometimes still recommend social media, but not feel comfortable with it? I wasn't comfortable recommending social media. Anybody here ever see the movie The Social Dilemma? Well, you can Google it, but there's also a lot of pitfalls to social media. There's a lot of statistics out there. You know, you can wake up in the morning in a good mood, but then for some reason you check your Facebook, your Twitter, or your Instagram, and then you suddenly have a little bit of a lower mood. You're like, hey, what just happened? I woke up feeling fine, and now I just checked my email, or now I just checked my LinkedIn, or now I just checked my Facebook, and I'm a little bit of a lower mood. Why is that? We can't help it, but we compare ourselves. Everything always looks like it's great on social media. We see a lot of statistics on the addictions of social media. It's a little bit of dopamine rush. You see how many likes you have, you see how many notifications you have. I feel that there are many more dangers to social media than there are positives. So as a marketer, I felt a service to my customers, yes, to help them build a social media strategy, but at the same time, I felt a really big disconnect and a really big disservice to recommend people to use social media as a platform, because I saw the pitfalls of it and the comparison and behind the scenes how a lot of things what you see on social media, and I've seen firsthand, are the opposite of what they seem. Some successful business owners saying how much money they made that week, or how they sold out all their inventory that week, and where I would know that client personally and know they didn't make a dime that week. So there's a lot of things out there that are not true, and we're fooling ourselves to believe it, and which could make us feel really crummy about ourselves. So with that said, I'm in a quandary here, because I'm giving over advice to people. People are coming to me to recommend them how they can make more money in their business, and I couldn't let them down by not giving social media as an option. Social media is one of the #1 ways to make money in this world, to network, to get people to know about you. So what am I supposed to do? Here I am, the anti-social media. I even have a blog on my website, the anti-social media post, and I'm a marketer. How do you go about living that life, being so against something, seeing how distracting it could be, how depressing it could be for a lot of people, but yet tell people to go on it for their business? I found myself really struggling with that. So what did I do? It took me a really long time, but I finally realized, first of all, what the negatives are of social media. The negatives about pretty much all technology these days is what? It's a distraction. It's a really big distraction. A distraction from things that we really should be focusing on. The opposite of distraction to me is focus. Really knowing what you want and getting there. Having a goal could take away some of the distractions. Having a laser-focused goal to really what you want and what you need is what can take you away from that distraction. And if you stay so firm on your goal, whether it's a revenue goal, whether it's a personal goal, or for whatever goal you have, we can't take away media, we can't take away technology unless you're living on the mountains in the Himalayas. If you're a person in 2022, you gotta have some kind of technology in your life. So we need to know how to use it for the right purposes. I can't tell people, no, don't use social media, because it's kind of the necessary evil. But if we actually use it in order to promote the goals that we want to follow, it could help us, it could actually serve us instead of us serving it. Because many times we turn into a slave to technology, we let it control us. But if we really want to be successful as people and as business owners, we need to control our social media. How do we take it into our own hands? Because it could feel very unaligned at times. It could be very overwhelming. It could be very stressful. The comparison, the insecurities that it can bring. But we want to bring to it focus and intention. I think my new word is intention. Really being intense, having intent with everything that you do, to be goal-oriented, find the value, and also have a direction in where you're headed so that you don't get straight off of that path. Having a strategy and a structure to following the direction that you are meant to go in, personally and professionally, to keep yourself focused on that way. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge you can overcome, and then everything serves you instead of you serving everything else. So you need to leverage it correctly so that it can work for you. And I'm talking about social media specifically, even though there's technology that can be addictive in many other ways. When you want to use social media for the good, you need to use it in ways with the boundaries that you set for it and the goals that you set for it. And with your strategy, you will then have peace of mind, knowing that you're in control of it. So the social media topic that I'm going to talk about today, I have clients that I work with that are killing it on all social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, and whether it's LinkedIn. LinkedIn was my first social media platform that I ever signed up with about probably 15 years ago or whenever the site opened up. And it took me it is actually not so hard for me to get on LinkedIn. Anybody here on LinkedIn, by the way? Oh, there's a lot of people not on LinkedIn. Raise your hand if you're not on LinkedIn. Wow, okay. So again, I'm not promoting people to go on social media, but if you are in business in any way, shape, or form, or looking for a job, LinkedIn is a very good thing to leverage. So today my topic is going to be how to leverage LinkedIn to work for you. We don't want to work for them, we want it to work for us. Having a focus on why we're choosing a platform. So when I signed up for LinkedIn, it was a no-brainer. I said, you know what, I'm a businesswoman, and I want to connect with other like-minded business people. And so it was for pure intentions of just networking on there, whether B2B or B2C, whether you're working in business for selling to customers or other businesses. It's a great site to network. I remember when I had my first Facebook, when I signed up for Facebook about 14 years ago, I was a little bit, anybody here on Facebook? Anybody here not have Facebook, not have social media, not have LinkedIn? No LinkedIn, no Facebook. Wow. Anybody here not have any social media account at all? Wow. Do you have WhatsApp? WhatsApp is considered social media these days. What is social media anyway? Social media, if you look back like 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, maybe even 25 years ago, whose business did you know about? You knew your own business, maybe your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your best friend, your grandma, maybe, but you didn't really know anybody else's business. Nowadays, you can know the business of another 500,000 million people in this world. But WhatsApp is also a social media where you know a lot of people's business that you kind of really shouldn't even care about as much. But we're influenced by a lot of people out there. And we're just one brain, right? I don't know if the human brain was designed for this much stimulation. That's why we need to take control over it. So LinkedIn is really a business networking website, but these days you can use all social media for any type of business. So when I signed up for Facebook, I remember the intent was because I was part of some travel camp. I was leading it about 15 years ago, and the way everybody was staying in touch was through Facebook. So I signed up for an account. So again, having the intent, knowing why you're signing up for something, is the most important part of it. So I'm going to talk today a little bit about LinkedIn and how being on LinkedIn is valuable, and how being on LinkedIn is something that you can stay in control of, having the right strategy on LinkedIn. Okay. Any questions so far? I'll save the last 10 minutes for any questions. Anything you want to ask me, open book. Okay, let's start with LinkedIn. I'm going to be talking about a company called Evergreen Network.